Okay guys, I'm back. So this is where we actually came from. So the access road actually goes right back up in that way. And this is the 20-foot entrance just behind me that we just came from and I was talking from. So this is the area right here. I'm gonna turn the camera around. You can actually see the stakes for the house. Let's see if we can get them in the picture here. We laid them out about 6 months ago, and hopefully you might be able to see these. I'm trying to watch where I'm going. It's a bit treacherous. Okay, it's hard to see actually, and there it is. There's a stake right there. So that's the back left-hand corner of the property. And if we go directly behind me, the other one's over here. The front is just over here, and the other one's just behind me. Should show up there somewhere. There it is. It's got a rag over the top. Fit somebody who's been up here. Right, so that is the view that we've got. Let me give that to you. There's the view. There's the Camel's Back. We have the sister to that down by the rental house. It's called Camel's Back because it has a distinct dip, and it just looks like a camel. This one actually looks like a turtle when you look at it. It's just an affectionate name here. So here we go. The rest of the property has been looked after by a young lad. That is our store, by the way. That's a temporary thing. That will actually come down after the house is built. And it's just there to help us keep things safe and dry from the elements. So he's done a pretty good job of hacking everything down. And let me just show you over here behind me. Show you what I mean. Got a lot of stuff going on over here. There's no question that we are in West Africa. You know, the insects and everything are militant here. If you're not careful, they will pick you up and fly away with you if you're not careful. But the insects are pretty rife up here until you start clearing the land and getting rid of all this vegetation. So that area back in here is the back side of the property. And you can see that it's actually fairly overgrown, okay? And it's just because people have been planting on it and it hasn't been weeded. So all the elephant grass, the tall grasses that you see around here, they actually grow quite quickly when it's raining. And that's why you see these kind of things on this part of the property, because they were actually planting on that. We just allowed them to do it. They make money from it, and that's fine, but from now on, we are on this property, and they're going to have to vacate all their stuff. It'll be hacked down. Hopefully the bulldozer will be able to get in there and just bulldoze the whole thing nice and flat. So this is the house area. This area of the site, right here, I don't know whether you can actually see that in this picture, but from this area here downwards, it's actually in a slope. It's not a big slope, but it's probably a 5 to 6 foot gentle slope. And we can't have that for the house. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it down 6 feet over here and actually level it down and actually push everything out to this side of the house, okay? So the bulldozer will actually do that for us, hopefully. We'll be able to have access to him and it'll be quite quick. Hopefully we'll get a good operator and so forth so we don't spend, because it's a reasonably expensive part of the build actually. You know, you're talking about 1,000 pounds a day here. You know, it's an expensive thing. So you want to make sure that you're mapped out, you know where he needs to go, what work that he needs to push around, and what the most important things are. So I'm going to go ahead and walk down here in this area here. Just going to watch where I'm going. There's a bunch of stuff laying on the ground here. I'll go flying down the side of the hill. Okay. So that palm right over here, we're gonna have to move that because the earth is actually gonna get leveled from right behind my head there. It's gonna come down about that much. So by the time the dirt gets pushed out, it's gonna cover that palm. So we'll have to dig that up and move it somewhere. But when I talk about the brush, that's how overgrown it gets. You know, this here would actually look like that if we didn't have somebody looking after this and keeping it and hacking it down. So this little corner section of the property was allowed to get a little bit overgrown. It's a bit disappointing that they didn't do more on it, but you know, these are big jobs. It gets hot here, and I can understand why they didn't do it. But we'll have a bunch of guys get in there inside of 5 hours, 4 hours or less. It'll all be leveled, and that way the guy with the bulldozer can see where he's going, running into any stones, big boulders, because it's actually quite rocky down in this area of the property right behind me. So you can actually see the stones. Let me get up. You can actually see the stones dotted all over behind me here. And you know, these aren't little stones, you know, you can't just pick these up and actually move them with your hand. They have to be moved with a heavy piece of equipment. So this area here, let me just come down here a little bit. You can see, try and keep the camera steady. This area actually goes down quite steeply here. And there's the outside perimeter of the property there. So what we're planning on doing is the container, the 40-foot container, after it's been emptied and so forth, we're going to be putting it over in the Kamibai area for safekeeping, because we just don't want it stuck out here on its own while we're building. So we'll just retrieve our stuff and bring it. But once it's done, okay, and we can actually move the container onto this property, this area right down here is where it's going to go, right down in this area here, okay? So what we're planning on doing is actually taking it, all the dirt would have been pushed out this way. We're going to build a wall going straight down and then level it off right to the pillars. So when you look at from the house, is right behind me, right near this tree, right behind me here. When you look out, you're not going to actually be able to see the container itself, okay? Because the ground will slope right into the top of where the container is, and the container will drop down because we'll build a retaining wall around it with concrete. Oh, the bugs are militant here, I'm sorry. Yeah, so, and then we'll just slightly grade it around each side to make it look pretty, okay? So when you look at it from the side of the house, it'll be just like the solar panels right on top of the container. You'll just be able to see the solar panels. You won't be able to see the container, which is quite cool. We're going to use that as my workshop, my carpentry workshop, and for storage, and for the satellite dish, and for the satellite, for the solar on top of it. So these bugs are absolutely militant out here this afternoon. I have to apologize for that. They're flying all around my head. So there is how steep this thing is here. Let me see if I can give that to you here. Yeah, you can see how steep it is. That's going to have to be leveled off quite severely. So there you go. And right behind us, there's the view. That's what we're going to see from the front of the house. Directly behind us, all this, you can see it. There's that lovely tree. We're actually going to get this lot before this lot right over here instead of the one I'm standing on. But they had these two beautiful trees sitting right in the center of the property, and I just refused to take those down. Okay, and they're just so beautiful. Actually, watch out here when the sun is going down, and you look out and you can see the mountains behind, and you see these two beautiful old trees. They're not oaks or anything. I think one's a locust tree, and the other one, I don't know what the other one is. We will find out, and hopefully one day we'll be able to purchase this property behind us, so that no one will be able to build behind us, because I really don't want them, you know, sticking a house up here and ruining my view. So if we can financially do that at some point, we will do it, and we'll probably basically farm and have people employed on this piece of property to actually farm and produce money for the Damo Manor House. So there is the pillars right behind me. You can see them go all the way around. And right down here, I'm gonna just see if I can actually get this in the shot. I'm just gonna open this up just a little bit. I can't do it. Right, so right down in this area, along here, they actually put stones there because the water actually during the rainy season comes right down there, and it was a sort of like really rushing hardly, is that a word? hard against all these pillars. So what we decided to do is put broken up stone and so forth, so that we are contouring where the water goes, and it actually goes down into the wet area right down there in the corner. That's where the first well is going to be dropped, right down here, and we're going to have a big 10,000 liter Millitank, they call them. It's actually quite wide. It's about 8 feet wide and about 5 feet deep, and it holds 10,000 liters of water. So the borehole will come up, it will go into the holding tank, which will be about here, dug halfway in the ground, and then we will have a pump take it out from the holding tank, push the pressure out 3 bar into the house, okay, or into anything else like a hose or a spigot, whatever we need it for, but it needs to be at about 3 bar. If it's harder than that, then it comes out too hard. It comes out of the borehole at 8, so it goes into the holding tank, and then from there we just take it out at 3, which gives us nice strong showers and a nice steady stream of water in any of the taps and so forth. It gives us nice pressure on the hoses. So most of this area that you see in here will all be lawned. Okay, so I've purchased 100 kilograms of hard-wearing, drought-resistant lawn seed. Okay, so we've brought it with us from England, and once we clear this out and level it and we start getting the lay of the land, we'll be able to lawn the whole thing and keep it mowed and so forth, and it'll be actually quite nice when you see it in the end. It takes a little bit of vision to be able to see that and be able to buy grass seed when you don't even have a house up yet. But that's just the way my brain works, and I can see it in my head. I know what's on paper already. So there you go. So that's about it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this video right now and just wander around, measure the house up one more time. I'm just gonna come around slowly just so you can see the rest of the lot. It's 3.5 acres here, which is quite nice. It's I'm just gonna move up the hill here, and that way you can actually see down the bottom corner. I'm just gonna walk up here real quick. See if I can get up here without tripping. When the flies come at you here, they just don't come at you slowly. They come at you going like 50,000 miles an hour and just bang you in the forehead and so forth. It's amazing. You're definitely in West Africa here. There's no doubt about it. It's not like that in England. They're not militant and harassing the way they are here. So, it's about the European flies, right? So there is the back of the property on this side. So it's actually reasonably level back here. It's not too terribly bad. It has to be leveled out just a little bit, but it's not too terribly bad. It's the other side that we were just talking about that is the one that's going to be more of a challenge. And yeah, there you go. So right here, this one is the front right side of the house, the porch area. So when I come out here with my cup of coffee in the morning, that's what I'm going to see. Can't ask for better than that. You know, I've been working all my life. I'm 59 years old right now. By the time we're 62, hopefully this project will be pretty much working and, you know, be pretty much the way we've seen it in our head. Okay, so it's going to take at least that long to get it done right. And you know, we're not working, so this is our job, and we're going to be waking up in it every day and going to sleep in it every day. And that's just part of being showing perseverance, yeah, and dedication to what you're doing. And the finish on the house is really important to us, so we're going to take our time, make sure that we do it right, and there you go. So for all of us here at the Daymar Manor House Build, and myself, Craig, it's been a pleasure having you this afternoon, and hopefully you've gotten a better idea of what we're trying to do here. And we will see you on one of the next videos. Okay, so remember, subscribe, like the video if you like it, and also leave comments down below. It's always nice to hear from people and, you know, what they think of the land and the landscape and so forth. Any ideas that you might have, everything helps. You know, this is a team effort here, and we've come an awful long way to actually start our life in some place like this. And you know, it's beautiful out here right now. It's probably 78 The sun's going to be coming down. It's just behind the clouds. I'm going to swing around. It's just behind the clouds back there, right behind me. And it's just, when it clears out, it's going to just set right behind those every single night. And we'll be able to see that on the back porch every night. Okay, so we'll wake up with the sun in the morning, and then we'll see it set in the evening at the back. So that's it, guys. We'll see you on another video real soon. So see ya. Take care. Bye for now.